Alright, so jokes apart, let's get going with the class. So, where did Isha go? Okay, so in today's class, today is probably not today, today and tomorrow, between today and tomorrow, it will be our last class for Unit 12. So before we finish Unit 12, I got few questions from some of you. Isha is okay, right, if I disclose your name? Yeah, Isha sent me a few questions that she wanted us to practice in this class. That's what I keep asking you guys, right? But if you want to share some questions among yourselves, share some questions to practice in this class, send it to me. So, Isha has sent some questions to me, okay? And that's what we want to solve, which I forwarded to you guys. Yeah? Everybody has got chance to see it or no? Did any of you open those videos which I sent saying these are the questions that we are going to solve today? Isha would know for sure because she is the one who had sent it across. But how about everybody else? No? Okay. So then in that case, okay. So let me go through those questions one by one. So let me open up the first question. First question was, that was, Isha, if you can read it, if you all can just open your phone and read the question, okay? So that we can go a little faster. So it says, let me read this question. Points C and D on a number line are both 4 units from point A. Again, the same Tran method, right? Read the trust is keeping the trust aside. Read again and again. Points C and D on a number line are both 4 units from point A. So let's say this is my number line. This is point C and this is point D. What the question says is, point C and D on a number line are both 4 units from point A. Let's say A is somewhere. Maybe A is here or maybe A is here. Okay? Says point C and D are both 4 units from point A. Which of the following gives the coordinates C and D? So there are 2 points C and D. We don't know how far they are, but only thing we know is there is some point A on the number line. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's here. We don't know. But this point A is 4 units from both the points. So point A is 4 units from C and from D, both. This question is clear to everybody? Did I read it enough? I'm reading it one more time. Point C and D on a number line, point C and D on a number line are both 4 units from point A. So this is 4 units from A, this is also 4 units from A. Okay? Which of the following gives the coordinates C and D? Now let's look at the answers first. It says A is x plus A mod of that equals to 4. B is x minus A mod of that is 4. C is x plus 4 mod of that is equals to 8. And what is D? Okay, there is no D here. No. X minus D is D is X minus 4 mod of X minus 4 equals to 8. Now, first part of the question, it says C and D are 2 points in the number line which is both are 4 units away from A. Okay? Fine? So, this is both on number line, right? So, this might be maybe 6, this might be 10 or something, or maybe 12, I don't know. I'm not guessing anything. Okay? So, these are some numbers, C and D. Okay? Now, A is also a point on the number line which is equidistant, meaning if A is here, so this minus A, let's say A is in the middle, okay? Let's assume that. A minus C will be equal to 4. That's what it says. And if this A is in the middle, B minus A is also equal to 4. Yeah? And actually A will be in the middle because if A is here, okay, then C and D are not the same point, different points, right? If A is 4 units from B, it will not be 4 units from C by any means. It will be 4 plus something. Or if A is here, then if C is 4 units from A, B will be 4 plus something. Are you guys with me so far? Now? See, with whatever information we have got, it says C and D are 2 points in the number line and A is a point which is 4 units from B and C, both. So A is 4 units from B and 4 units from C also. Why I am saying A is in the middle? Because if A is here and A is 4 units from B, it will be 4 plus something from C. If A is here on this side of the number line, if it is 4 units from C, it will be 4 plus something from D. So it cannot be outside. It has to be somewhere in the middle. Am I making sense so far? Yeah? So this is my number line where I have 3 points B, C and A. Okay? Where B and C are 4 units away from A. That means my A is somewhere in the middle. Because if I keep A here, the first formula will not be correct, first statement will not be correct. If I keep A on this side, then also the first formula condition will not be correct. Okay? Now, look at this. What is the question? Question says, find out which of this following is going with the question. It says both the points C and D are 4 units from A. Meaning, if my C is X, X minus A equals 4, and or if I represent this also as X, or let me not complicate this. Both the points C and D are 4 units away from A. Meaning, if you look at, let's say A is 5, how much will be D? If A equal to 5, how much will be D? On the number line, any guess? 9. I will say D will be equal to A plus 4. Yeah? Or B minus A will be equal to 4. This is fine? Now, what will be C? Again, it is A minus C. Since A is here, and I'm assuming C is on this side, C is smaller than D. So that means A minus C will be 4. Yeah? if I keep, if I change this and multiply with minus on both the sides, can I say this? I multiply with minus on both the sides. Is this okay? I had a minus c equal to 4. Okay, let's not do this way. I will say I moved everything this side and everything from here this side. So I made c minus a equal to 4 comes here, becomes minus 4. It is fine. Minus c became plus c by going this side. A was plus became minus. So c minus a equal to minus 4. Is this okay? Now look at this. Now look at this one and this one. These are two equations I have. C minus a equal to minus 4. B minus a equal to 4. Now C and D are 2 points on this number line, which is 4 units away from A. See, C minus A is minus 4, B minus A equal to 4. Now, you know, if I have minus 4 and I put a mod of that, that is nothing but the absolute value, right? The sign is gone. Now you look at this. Replace C and D with X, and which equation it's matching with? If I look at these two equations, can I say C minus A mod equal to 4 or B minus A mod equal to also 4? Because when I am putting a mod, I am doing away with the sign. Yeah? So now replace C and D with a X, and that is what becomes your equation. C minus A equal to 4, D minus A equal to 4. So basically, whatever is given in the question, I am putting that in the form of an equation, and then once you put the mod, this one represents that theorem, saying okay, there are 2 points which are both of them. If A gets subtracted from that, the absolute value is 4. The unit difference of the unit is 4. So, lot of confusion, right? So let's forget about whatever we did here on the board. Okay? Let's think about the question like a normal situation. What we are told is there are 2 points C and D which are both 4 units away from A, a point A. And all these 3 points are on a number line. So there are 2 points C and D, both are 4 units away from A. Now the first thought process that will come to our mind is, can A be in the middle or outside this, on this side, on the left hand side or on the right hand side? If I consider A on the right hand side or left hand side, it's not fitting the bill actually. Because if I have A here, it cannot be 4 units away from both of the points, C and D. Yeah? I'm kind of emphasizing on that to talk about the thought process, right? How we are trying to solve this. There's nothing complicated about this sum. It's just about how you are thinking about it. So we have 2 points, both are 4 units away from a third point. And that third point cannot be on the left or right of the point. Okay? It has to be somewhere in the middle. Now, now I know that, okay, meaning C minus A is 4, B minus A is also 4. And how I can say so? A is the middle, right? So if I take a mod of that, meaning the difference between the two is 4. If you have to look at any 2 numbers, the difference of that is 4 units. It's not saying negative or positive, it's saying just the absolute difference. So that's where B minus A equal to 4, C minus A equal to 4. If I put that in the form of equation, I can say X minus A equal to 4. And that holds true for C and D both. But then, since A is here, I cannot say B minus A equal to 4 and C minus A equal to 4. One will be negative, one will be positive. That's why putting that mod gets you away from that positive negative consideration and you only look at the absolute value. Did I solve it or did I complicate it? Were you guys able to follow me or? Okay? Isha, okay? Athar, Srivatsa. See, if you have smallest of the doubt, ask me now. I might go wrong, I'll correct it. But if you assume that no, everything is fine and if there is a doubt, I certainly would not want you guys to come across that problem again. Okay? So this part is okay, right? Read the question multiple times, that will give you a very good clue. Draw it on the piece of paper, you'll be able to relate. When you're able to relate, write that in the form of an equation. When you write that in the form of equation, then you'll be able to relate. See, you can use elimination technique also. C and D you can knock off, right? See, it says x minus 4 equal to a. X plus 4 equal to a. It says the difference. Here we are trying to add. This one you can knock off. X minus 4 equal to a. So, you can, you are not, the difference, if you have to find the difference between A and B, what will you do? A minus B equal to the difference. This is not written the correct way. And I can find no fault in that one. Don't go into the complexity here. That is, you just look at, okay, A minus B. If I have to subtract the distance between A and B, A minus B. This one is giving me A minus B kind of thing. So this one gets ruled out because this is a little confusing here. I can look at this or this. Now this is very clear. Any point with the A is 4 units away. C minus A is 4. B minus A is also 4. Mod of that, you are kind of doing away with the tension for the sign. That's it. Whom did we lose? Did we lose somebody? Srivatsa is here. Utvik is here. Okay. One person went missing. Let me check. Who is that? Okay. We have. Okay. Dhanush is not here. Okay. Okay. I think everybody is here. I was kind of probably thinking that somebody went missing. Okay. So this question is okay. Whatever we did, approach was okay. So again, let's see how much we are able to solve. But again, approach will remain the same. This question, I'll be honest with you guys, I did not try solving it. Okay? I was trying to solve it here in the class itself. That is why it took me a couple of iterations. But again, for you guys also, right, you would not have solved each and every problem that you are going to come across. You will have to pick the question, apply your approach, go step by step, whatever it says, keep drawing it, you will be able to solve it. Okay? Can we go to the next question? Okay. Second question is going to be interesting. Interesting because it is in the form of a video and I'll have to find out how do I stop it in between to read it properly. So Isha, I would request you to pause it on the screen where you have the graph. And I will try pausing it. Okay, I have paused this now on the graph. Okay. This is the graph we have. And this is 1, this is 2, somewhere 1.5, and then
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This touches at 3. Okay. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
What says the graph of
Y equals minus function of this is shown here.
for which value of x is it true that
fx equals 1.
it says graph of y equal to minus fx. Y equals to minus of fx. Okay. For which value of x is true that fx equals to 1? Okay. This question,
This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. This is cutting the y-axis at 3 and the x-axis at minus 1.5.
okay. And this is graph of
Y equal to minus fx. Okay?
so far you guys have been able to read whatever is there on the board, right?
This is a graph drawn which is cutting the x-axis at minus 1.5 and y at 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is a graph for y equal to minus fx. So whatever is function of minus x and negative that is what the value of
This function is. Let me look at the second part of the question. The second part of the question says oh, this is not the second part of the question. Okay. So this is the solution part of it. Okay. So it says, this is the graph shown to us, okay? So just remember this is somewhere above 3, this is, okay, and this is cutting at 1.5 and 3. Now it says, graph of y equal to minus
f minus x.
for which value of x it is true that fx equal to 1.
For what value of x? What is the value of x for which? For what value of x it will be 1.
Now look at this one. See, fx is what? fx is
Y is minus of function minus x. Yeah. So whatever is the value of function of minus x is equal, or we can say y equals to minus value of minus function of x. Yeah. Can we say that function of minus x equal to minus y? Is that okay to say? Can we say so?
so it says so function of minus x, meaning when we put the value of x as okay, I'm just thinking how do we relate this one with this. It says, let me read the question again. And again, as I say, if I read the question again, it makes it easier. So let's now
in this one. This is the okay.
Let's do it the simpler way.
This is my graph for this function. Okay. Now y equals minus function of minus x. That means this position, this point is also on the graph. That will also satisfy this condition. What is the value of x here? Minus 1.5. Yeah. And what is the value of y here? On this axis. This point, this graph is cutting x-axis at this point 1.5. Okay.
Is that 1.5 or some other number? Can you just check one more time? This is, yeah, it's cutting at 1.5.
So, since all these points are on this graph, right? Let's look at what is the relationship here. Let's look at this point. When x is 1.5, y is equal to 0. Okay? So, now let's look at this. When x is minus 1.5. Okay? Let's put it in this slide. Y equal to minus of x is equal to minus into minus 1.5. Yeah? And this is equal to 0. So function of some value of x, let's not do that. Okay, so when x is 0, sorry, x is minus 1.5, y is 0. Now let's look at this guy. This is cutting at 3. When y is 3, so 3 is equals to, if I substitute in this function, 3 equals minus of function of x. I'm just thinking there will be a better way of solving this actually.
Let me look at the question again. There will be a different way of solving it for sure. Isha, I will have to solve this one, okay? I'll have to do this separately, okay? I see some clues here, but since I did not get time to go through this one, I will solve this question separately for you, okay? So this question I'm parking right now. Question number 2, which is function of function, okay? And I'm not trying to teach you guys something which I'm not really clear about. Let me go through it one more time, okay? Offline, and I will answer that. Either I will solve it tomorrow or I will send you a solution for this. Send a solution to you guys separately. Oops, what happened here? Okay, so let's look at the next one. Non-linear functions. Okay. Or let me do this. Let me do this way. All these sums I will try solving it separately because I see these are a little different from the regular ones and I need to just revise it once from my side. Okay. So this is when your teacher is not prepared. Okay. So I have not gone through all the, I should have gone through it. I thought, okay, I'll be able to explain that in a very easy way. but it turned out to be something that needs me to just go through the concept one more time so that I don't waste much of time for you guys. Okay, so I should be able to solve the last one in this one though. Let me look at the last one. Last one is, okay, let's solve the last one and then the other two questions that we did not solve. Not okay. Let's look at what all we are able to solve. Next question is this one. So we have only solved the first question in this one. Let's look at the last one. Last one is this one. If A and B are positive integers,
A and B are positive integers,
positive integer constants, and
x to the power A,
y to the power b
equal to minus 128, where x
is less than 0,
and y is less than 0.
which of the following must be true? Yeah, this should be doable. This is more of a common sense question, I would say. Let's look at it. Let's read the question one more time. If A and B are positive integers,
A and B both are positive integers, and x to the power A and y to the power b equal to
minus 128. X is less than 0, y is less than 0. Which of the following must be true? Now,
look at this one. It says x is negative, y is negative. Okay? And x to the power A and y to the power b is giving me
negative value. It's giving me a negative value. Okay?
Now, A and B itself are positive.
Now let's look at one simple example.
If let's say x is less than 0, let's assume x is minus 2. Okay? And y is also negative. So let's say y is minus 1. Okay? A and B are positive, meaning x to the power A and to y to the power b will be equal to what? A and B are both positive. Let's say A is 5 and B is 3. X and y both are negative. Okay, remember this. So if x is negative, and we are saying minus 2, so minus 2 to the power A, let's say 5, and y is, we are assuming, let's say minus 1. I'm just playing with it, okay? I have no formal way to solve it, okay? I'm just trying to build some interpretation from the question itself. We assume, since it says x and y are negative, so I assume that, okay, x and y both are minus 2 and minus 1 for the sake of argument. And then A and B are both positive, so I assume 5 and 3. Let's see this. What do we see here? If x is minus 2, let's put smaller numbers. Okay? Let's say A and B are positive, right? So I will say A is 2 and B is also 3. Let's say 2 and 3. What do we see here? This is a negative number. If I am multiplying it 3 times, I will become minus 1. This is a negative number. If I am multiplying it 2 times, I am getting a positive. Okay? So, one thing that you can see from this, since A and B, x and y both are negative, less than 0, and by multiplication, a to the power x to the power a multiplied by what, y to the power b is negative. Negative, okay? Both the numbers are negative. What did we do here? We put one number, one a is positive and b is, okay. I put a is 2 and b is 3. And both the numbers x and y are negative. Then I put the power. When one of my power is even, that number becomes positive. One of the power is odd, that number is negative. If I have both the numbers, both the powers, let's say A and B, both are positive, what will happen? It will become positive, right? Because negative multiplied even number of times will give me a positive number. Negative multiplied even number of times will give a positive number. multiplication of one positive and one positive will be positive. So,
Okay. This one doesn't need much of a skill. That's why I'm able to solve it very quickly.
now look at this. Let's look at the question. This is more of an analysis question, okay? It says x a at this is the equation x to the power a into y to the power b is equal to minus 128. Okay? A and b are positive integers. Okay? It says x and y are negative. X and y are negative. Less than 0. So now, just for the sake of argument, if you look at it, right? If I keep x and y, let's say as 1, minus 1 and minus 1. A and b are the power or exponent. If any negative number gets multiplied even number of times, meaning 2 times or 4 times or 6 times or 8 times, my outcome will be positive. If any negative number gets multiplied odd number of times, meaning minus 2 into minus 2 into minus 2, minus into minus plus into minus, so 3 times this becomes negative. If I have minus 2 into minus 2, it gives me plus 4, minus into minus plus 4. If I have negative number getting multiplied even number of times, what happens is this becomes positive, this becomes positive, total is positive. So, for the outcome to be negative, one of the exponent has to be positive, one of the exponent has to be odd, one has to be even. If both are odd, that will not work. If both are even, that will also not work. So, look at certain scenarios. Let's say minus 1, my x is minus 1, y is let's say minus 2. If both my power a and b are positive, let's say minus 1 to the power 2 and minus 2 to the power 2. What is the answer here? If both my exponents are even, this becomes positive, this becomes positive. My answer is negative here. This is not a possibility. If one of the exponent is odd and second one is even, so this becomes positive and this is negative, so we are good. This gives me a negative one. If both my exponents are odd, this becomes negative, this becomes negative, negative into negative, positive. So the two exponents that I have, one has to be even, one has to be odd. That is how I'll get a negative. We are not getting to the complexity of solving it or matching it with 128. We are just trying to find a scenario when my sign will be negative, when I'll get a negative number. Okay? Am I so far reaching you guys, or am I complicating it? Simple question is, I have a and b as exponents of x and y. A and b are both positive. X to the power a into y to the power b is giving me a negative value, minus 128. The answers that I have are these. It says, find out what could be true. A is even. Or what? Which of the following must be true? A is even. This is my first answer. Second answer says A is odd. For this condition to be correct, okay? C says AB is odd. B says AB is even. Okay? Now what we are trying to see here is, for us to get a negative answer, if I have, since both my numbers are negative, one of the exponent has to be even and one has to be odd. That is how I will get an overall negative value here. If one of the exponent is even and other one is odd, when I multiply an even number with an odd number, what do I get? We get an even number. When I multiply an odd number with an odd number, what do I get? Odd number. 3 into 3 is 9, odd. 2 into 3 is 6, even. 4 into 3 is 12, even. So when you are multiplying even and odd, you are getting an even number. If you only when you are multiplying two odd numbers, your outcome will be odd. So A is even, we don't know, could be. The answer is which one is must true. A is odd, that is also possible. Maybe. AB is odd. If AB is odd, if it is odd, this becomes negative, this becomes negative. Outcome will be positive. That is not possible. AB is odd is not possible. AB is even. That's what we saw. When one of my exponent is positive, even, one is odd, that is how I am getting overall negative value. So, B is correct. Yeah? Everybody with me? Again, Anika. This question was all about we having an equation which is saying x to the power a into y to the power b equals minus 128. A and b are both positive. So both the exponents are positive. It's not negative. Okay, fine. Second information that we have is that x and y, both my base are negative. So when I am dealing with a negative base, if I have exponent as even, that means I am multiplying negative number 2 times or 4 times or 6 times, and all the scenarios will be positive. So any negative number with an exponent of even number will give me a positive value. Like we saw an example, right? If I say minus 1 as my number, negative number, and my exponent is 2, I get a 1, plus 1. If I put exponent as 4, if I multiply minus 1 4 times, I am getting a plus number. If I am multiplying minus 1, if I have the exponent is 3, meaning I am multiplying minus 1 3 times, that is when it becomes a negative. So, based on that, we saw that if I am multiplying two numbers, both are negative, one of the exponent has to be odd, one has to be even. That is how my overall value will be negative. When my one exponent is odd, one is even. When I multiply with even and odd numbers, I get a even number always. 2 into 3 is 6, 4 into 3 is 12, 5 into 4 will be 20. Here, odd number, even number. 13 into 4, 13 4 is 52. That is a even number. So every even number will be multiplied with an odd number, which is an even number. When I look at these options, it says which is must true. This is possible. This is also possible. We saw that if both are getting odd, it becomes a positive number, so this is ruled out. But we saw that for it to be negative, one has to be positive, one has to be odd, one has to be even, and multiplication of that will be even. So this is a must condition. So that is how we picked up it. So though I took time, it could have been a 5-minute question, 2-minute question maybe, but I was trying to emphasize on how would you approach. So when you look at a question like this, you don't have to try solving it for x and y, because here you have 4 variables, x, y, a and b, and all the values are known. A, B is unknown, you only know that they are positive constants, nothing more. X and y, you know that they are negative values, less than 0. But you don't know what the value is. If you try solving for that, you will be stuck. You are trying to solve 4 variables with one equation. Only option you have is look at the condition, assume some values and build some interpretation from that. Use that interpretation to eliminate the answers. That would be the approach. Yeah? Okay. Let's see if we can, or if I can, solve at least one more. So Isha had given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. So far we have solved 2. So let's see if I can solve one more.
I will probably spend some time on the quality graph and the polynomial graph, which is part of this unit. And let me go through it one more time and try solving these questions in a simpler way, so that we can finish that in the next class. And along with that, we'll cover the topic which we had planned for this week, which is the last chapter in this unit. Okay, so let me look at the next one. Okay, there is one. This is also exponential graph, and I'll have to actually write down these questions before I try solving it. Otherwise, glancing through the video is not easy. Isha, can I request you for something? These questions are from Khan Academy or from elsewhere?
They're from
Khan Academy. If you can just take a picture of the question, okay, and send that to me, I will try solving it, or at least practice once before the class, so that I can cover all the 4 questions in one class. Otherwise, we might end up spending the whole class and may not be able to finish it, right? So just take a picture, because video makes it a little difficult. I got a little lazy. Yeah. So maybe two pictures for one question you can take, and you can send it to me. And this is coming from a unit test in that chapter, right? For the polynomial graphs and this one, right? Okay. Let me go through it once, okay? Because honestly speaking, in the entire SAT syllabus, this was the only chapter which I had kind of taken easy, okay? So let me go through it. Spend some 15-20 minutes. That will be enough, and then I should be able to explain that in the next class. Okay. So let's try to. So basically, I'm not teaching you guys anything else today. What we'll do is, we'll just go through a recap of what we want to do in the next class. Okay, so next class we are going to cover cover exponential and polynomial graphs. So we are going to learn about the exponential and polynomial graphs. When you say exponential graphs, what do we mean? We know quadratic graph. So saying y equals to 2x squared plus 5x plus 7. This is quadratic graph. Yeah. Yes. So when you have your graph equation written in the form of exponents, so this is also exponent, but this variable, this exponent is here. This is a constant. Imagine you have to do y equals to 2 to the power x plus 7. This is called exponential graph, meaning it could have, x could be any value, right? X could be 10, x could be 50. So when your variable is in the form of exponents, that is when it is called exponential graph. Nothing changing for us. We will do the same thing. Put the value of x, find out the corresponding value of y, draw the graph. That's what we'll do. And the remaining 2 chapters that we have here, the 2 chapters, yes, exponential and polynomial graphs, that is from where all these questions are coming. So let me spend 15, 20, 30 minutes, go through it, and I will solve all the questions. Isha, help me get the questions in a screenshot, and we'll go through them tomorrow. And that will not only help us solve these questions, but will also help us go through the concepts, because there are no new concepts here. We just have to practice them to solve it. Ultimately, in layman's terms, if you look at it, be it a linear equation, be it a quadratic equation, be it a polynomial equation, these are all x and y relationships. Linear equation draws a straight line, quadratic equation draws a parabola, polynomial expression will probably draw another type of curve. That's it. You have to use value of x to find out the corresponding value of y and keep on plotting it
and based on that, it draws a line, draws a parabola, draws
a curve or a graph. Okay. We will just learn or practice some of the questions. Good that Isha has given me all those questions, so I already have 5-6 questions that we can look at to solve, and that you will see that these are all about replacing or substituting value of x, getting the corresponding value of y, and building some interpretation about it. All these graphs that you look at, right, be it quadratic graph, be it linear equation, we just look at based on the value that we have, how do we interpret from that. Let's say if I'm talking about a linear equation y equal to mx plus c, m is my slope, meaning if the value of m is more, my line is getting more and more vertical. If m is small, my line is becoming more and more horizontal. Similarly, c tells where it is intersecting with the y-axis. What is my y-intercept? Right? The same way, we can look at how do we solve these problems for quadratic graph, polynomial graphs, and graph or exponents. Okay? So this is where I'm stopping today. I know we just solved 2 sums, but the remaining 4 sums and the 2 more topics that we have in this class, that will cover tomorrow. Hopefully nothing goes beyond this week. Yeah. So let me ask. So whatever we learned today, whatever we tried solving today, I don't think we learned anything new. We just tried to find out how do we approach a problem. Every question that we come across, you don't have to necessarily solve them. Sometimes you have to kind of build some interpretation. A very simple approach. Okay, let me give you guys one clue here. Let's say if you have to solve for one variable x, you need one equation. Minimum one equation.
if you have to solve for 2 variables,
if somebody says
that
solve for
x plus y, x plus 3y equal to 15,
find out the value of x and y, regardless of how intelligent and smart you are, you're not going to solve it.
you can solve 3x plus 7x plus 12 equal to 17.
Why? Because you're talking about only one variable. One variable, one equation. Two variable, two equation. Three variable, three equation. As simple as that. If you have to solve for 2 variables, you have to have 2 equations.
There has to be some equation, even if it says x squared plus 6y equal to 72.
You have 2 variables, x and y, and you have 2 equations. This is one equation, this is second equation. So, a very simple rudimentary check that you can do. If I have an equation, look at how many variables you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with certain number of variables, you have to have that many equations. 2 variables, 2 equations. If somebody says
x squared plus 2y plus z equal to 17
and
7x plus 3y squared plus z squared equal to 18.
solve it. First check will be how many variables, x, y and z, x, y and z, 3 variables. I need 3 equations. No negotiation on that. I need 3 equations. If I have 3 equations, I'll be able to solve it. If I don't, ask for it. Okay? So that is why when we look at this equation, x to the power a into y to the power b equal to minus 128. There is only one equation and 4 variables. You are not going to solve it. You will have to derive some interpretation based on the information that we have. And if you look at the, sometimes when you read a complete question, actually it tells you what you are supposed to do. When you look at the question, it says, okay, this is this, and a and b are both positive, x and y are negative. What are the possibilities? A is odd, b is even, ab is odd, even, whatever. So when you read the question, then you know, okay, this guy is not trying to ask me to solve this thing. It's only telling me, find out what is a and b. and then you know what is my value for this one. Substitute some value, use elimination technique, you should be done. That's what we did for the first one. Second one, what was the second one? Second one was this one, right? First one was different. Okay. So net, even if I am not able to solve the 4 sums which we will solve tomorrow, what it means is any question that you come across, you will at least be able to solve for 20-30% of the cases, even if you don't know it directly, just by applying common sense like I did. So even if I did not teach you anything, I taught you guys one thing, that is, if you get a question, even if you are not prepared for it, read through it, see if you are able to derive some interpretation from that, and then you should be able to solve it. So you don't have to know everything. There is no way you will know everything. But that doesn't mean you will not attempt everything. Yeah? Alright? So that's what brings us to the end of the class. I'll let you guys go enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk again tomorrow. We'll solve those 4 problems and we'll talk about the exponential graphs and the polynomial graphs tomorrow. Alright? Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah. Go slow, please.
But
Bye-bye. Take care.